Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We're looking at Cutty Sark blended Scotch whiskey, introduced in 1923. This is the standard bottle. There is a Cutty Sark Black. Well, I've not had that one, the Prohibition. I've seen it in a few ice locations. This will run you about $15 a bottle, maybe $17, depends where you go. But I think you can get it for $15. The Spirit of Adventure, it says on the back, embossed in the glass. It is now a Glen Turner brand. It's one of these that's been kind of passed around from company to company over the years, like so many whiskey brands, or gin brands, or rum brands, or beer brands. They get bought out. That's the nature of the game. Some people get uptight about that, like, oh, they got bought out, I'll never drink it again. Well, the world will continue on if you don't drink it again. So our actions define who we are. Our actions define who we are, right? Good statement. The words, you'll know them by their fruit. Okay, Craig Swenson, I love Cutty Sark. It's so easy drinking. Yeah, no age statement. It is easy drinking. It's light. It's 80 proof. It used to be 86 proof, but so many of these have been dropped to 80 for whatever reason. I've heard different theories. They seem plausible. Glen Turner is part of Glen Turner, which I think is owned by a Thailand company, if I'm not mistaken, a Thai company. Then we have Johnnie Walker Blue Label blended Scotch whiskey, no age statement, introduced. Some people say in 1992. I've never seen anything official about that, but the website for Johnnie Walker says in the late 20th century. Well, 1992 would have been in the last decade of the 20th century, so perhaps it was 92. If I could get something definitive, I'd say it. A lot of people will tell me things, well, I know this. And I say, how do you know that? Well, I got a friend that's in the industry. Oh, that's not definitive. Sorry. It may very well be true, but I don't go with that. This foil cut cap is really starting to tear. But there it is anyway. Foil cap cover. Nice, pretty. And then there's the string. There's a string tied around the cork with the little medallion, the Striding Man medallion. Let's see. This is the last of the blended Scotch whiskey taste challenges for a while. I'm not going to put Johnnie Walker Blue Label up against something like Piper Dean or Highland Mist or JW Dant, JW, because they're so inferior. I mean, they're okay on their own merits. Actually, they are. But a $6.99 a bottle, $6.99 bottle of Scotch against Johnnie Walker Blue Label. It's like a waste of a Blue Label. It's been a waste so far when you think about it, because it's been so much of a mismatch against the Buchanan's, the Johnnie Walker Red Label, the J&B, 3 Diageo brands, and all of these other one. This Chivas Regal, that was a real mismatch. So I would like to hold on to the remainder of the bottle, about 70% of the bottle left, and go up against things like maybe the Buchanan's Master or that Buchanan's 18-year age or the Johnnie Walker Double Black or even the Black and the Platinum, the Green, those kind of things to get my money's worth. I mean, I'm enjoying drinking. I mean, tasting. I wouldn't drink whiskey at 5:30 a.m. Central Time, but understand, tasting it. Here's the JW label. JW, I have it on the bottom of the glass. And this is the other whiskey here. The skirts. A bowl of some local Cajun dirty rice. Could do that. All right, now so let's pour the Cutty Sark since 1923. Tells you right there on the bottle. Over 90 years ago, going on their 100th anniversary. Now, maybe, and almost certainly, if they'll have an America, then they may not in 3 years, but maybe in 3 years they'll have the 100th anniversary a celebration whiskey version, you know, meaning like a specialty edition. That'd be cool. I'd buy it. I had a bottle of Cutty Sark last week. Great stuff. Yep. Young Mr. Jazz says. Young Mr. Jazz. Thanks for watching, everybody. But whatever the case, you know, if it's a successor country, I'm talking about to the USA in 3 years, like could be different regions in their own country, like the Union of Southern America, the Union of American, well, whatever they call it. All right, I don't know. These things break up. Soviet Union broke up. The Federation of Rhodesian Nyasaland broke up. So sometimes these federations, they break apart. And like the United States of America probably break apart due to various things. Wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but so whatever successor state we're living in, if I'm living, if there is a successor, I'm just saying theoretically, I would still try to buy that you know, that's just that specialty 100th anniversary thing. Okay, so I didn't pour too much. I watched some of these whiskey reviews and they pour in a big old glass. I'm like, wow, they're almost filling the whole Glencairn glass. I say, ooh, that's impressive. I mean, I don't know if it's a good idea to drink that much, but they may only be doing that once a week. So good morning, kids, says Anonymous B. Good morning, kids. Good morning, kids. All right, so Cutty Sark website, I got it right here. It says, the first and most famous of the Cutty Sark family, this blend of Scotch has been a worldwide icon for the last 90 years. 97 years now. Easy to drink, blended with Scotch whiskey. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Light in color and flavor, but heavy on the fun. Flavors. Let's go real fast. Flavors. Clean, balanced, and lively with vanilla and citrus fruits. Beautiful bottle. Y'all got to admit that. It's accessible, fresh, and enticing with subtle hints of vanilla ice cream and caramel. Vanilla ice cream and caramel. I love reading these descriptions because when I drink them, I'm like, I don't pick up all that. You know, I don't pick up most of these exotic flavors they're talking about. But that doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means that I may not be good at picking it up. You know, I don't think they're lying or whatever. A whiskey that was born to be mixed. What is that telling you? Born to be mixed. It's not really born to be doing what I'm doing today. Nitro cold brew coffee for me and work. Have a great day. Be careful at work. Cutty Sark is an easy drinking Scotch. Not a lot of flavor, but goes down smooth. I agree with that. Johnnie Walker Blue. Serving a velvety combination of vanilla. They talked about vanilla with the Cutty Sark. Honey, and rose petals. Rose petals. Don't you love drinking those rose petals? Before broadening out to a zesty orange flavor. They said that about the Buchanan's orange flavor, with notes of hazelnut, sherry, and dark chocolate. Okie doke, you say so. Well, look at the appearance. The Johnnie Walker Blue label is so brown, chestnut brown, or is that tan? I don't know. What do I know for colors? And the Cutty Sark is pale straw gold. It is like a straw, pale, like hay. Hey. Man, it's kind of chilly this morning in Louisiana. You know, chilly, like 57 degrees here in late April. Do I want Louisiana to be its own country one day? I wouldn't oppose that, the Republic of Louisiana. But I'm more of a federation guy. You know, I'd rather have a bunch of states in a federation where they have free trade with each other and free travel. You know, I'm more of a federation guy. I don't really like seeing these states break up. But the reason they break up is because they can't get along. That makes sense. And the central government wants to have too much power over those various states, and they resent it, and then they break away, like Yugoslavia. If the central government in Belgrade had been following a federation formula, well, they would have probably stayed together, even with ethnic differences. Now, Germany, well, they had a much better chance to stay together because they were one nation, the German nation, all spoke German. I know there's the Sorbs, right? The Slavic group inside of Germany. That's a small ethnic group, the Sorbians, right? Isn't that what they're called? All right. I know a lady from Germany told me about that. Undina. I told her, I said, no, I never heard of them, but you know, it sounds about right. See, like Canada is a federation, and that has lasted even with the ethnic problems between the French and the Canadians. But the ethnic problems won't really impact a federation if the federation is run properly. So you could have multi-ethnic federations, but it has to be run properly. Most of the time, they're not run properly. I could run them properly. I should be the president of the United States. I think I would be a great president. I would be your friend, the taxpayer's friend. Okay. How are federations? Wait, he retracted the message before I could read it. How are federations? And then no message. Okay, well, can't answer. Don't know why. I retract messages sometimes, but you know why? It's never because of the content. People will tell me, you took that message down because you were embarrassed of it. I said, no, I took it down because I had used like improper grammar, like they needed a comma there, or I used the wrong word. And some of these formats won't let you edit the comment. I was like, and it makes me look silly, like I can't speak proper English. So what I'll do is I'll copy the message, post it again, make the correction, delete the previous. That's all. That's the only reason. I don't retract my ideology. I don't retract my opinions. Now, do I regret the tone that I use sometimes? Well, yeah, of course, because sometimes we get angry and we'll say things fly off the handle, or maybe you're tasting too many products, so to speak. Maybe your judgment is not as careful. You're not as guarded. But I can't think of a single time where I ever retracted my ideology or my line of thinking. No, I wouldn't. No, I can't say that. No. You say, well, you might have been ugly, hateful, bad. Yes, I think all people are capable of being ugly, hateful, and bad. It's the human nature. It's our fallen nature. I'm not making an excuse. I'm not saying we should be that way. We have concupiscence. Now look up the word concupiscence and you'll see that, yes, we have concupiscence. So we're going to act that way sometimes. It's not right. Okay. You say this is not a taste challenge channel. This is some kind of philosophical, theoretical channel. Well, if you want to nitpick, it is. Ha 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 ha. But don't people sit around in a bar and say all those kind of things like, oh, this, that, and everything. And then the other person says, you're wrong, you're wrong. And then they'll say, you're wrong, you're wrong. And then they'll talk it out and they'll still be friends and hang out the next weekend. Or they'll get really angry and have a big bar fight. I don't know what they do. There's a little bit of smoke here and a little bit of peat, but honestly, there's not a whole lot of bold aroma. It's very mild and mellow. It's very dialed back. Sweet, what you call citrus, sweet honeysuckle. I know what you're thinking. Honeysuckle. You're so dumb. You're so dumb. There's no honeysuckle in that whiskey. There's no basement Alamo. Look, I know that. It's mostly corn, grain. And then there's probably 20% malt whiskey blended in and makes a nice flavor. Mild, mellow, and designed to make mixed drinks, cocktails. So if you're just sipping it neat, or you're sipping it against their guidelines, actually you are, because they're saying you shouldn't mix it. But anyway, no big, great, tremendous loss. Assuming that's Cutty Sark, it may not be. Because you'll notice about the Johnnie Walker Blue Label, the aroma's not like really too remarkable. You smell it and you're like, oh man, I paid over $200 for this. This is what I got. Yeah, like this aroma is flat. A little wax, like beeswax. I don't know. I don't go around eating beeswax too much. You know what I mean? No, I mean, And there's a little compost, like you got your compost pile. Did you just reference Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Sorry, I had to edit my question. Oh, okay. Is the USA a federation? In theory, the USA is a federation. In practice, it's more like a unitary kind of quasi-dictatorship, I want to be honest. What would you do for work if you don't mind? Oh, I just work part-time. Do you work nights? I work in the daytime. I work in the daytime. I couldn't imagine drinking liquor at 7 a.m. No, I wouldn't drink liquor at 7 a.m. But I'll taste it. Yeah, I understand. I mean, I'm not going to waste it. But while I'm tasting, oh, I can't open my eyes. Almost glance. I think I did glance. It doesn't matter because once I taste it, I'm going to know. I'm going to know. I'm going to know. I'm going to know. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Isn't that a movie from 1986? And somebody asked him, "Do you have any dreams?" And he said, "Yeah, there's this big donut chasing me or something." All right. And he was kind of like not understanding the concept of, she meant dreams like visions for the future in your life. And he was talking about like specific dreams. I got a kick out of that. All right. Gave me the willies. This is, oh, look at the daylight arriving. People are like, why you do this in the dark? Well, because I like to see the daylight arrive as I do it, you know. That's the whole Dawn Busters concept. A lot of grain, boy. Wow, turn on the siren. It's screaming corn. Corn, corn, corn. Yeah, there's a little bread dough. A little bread dough. Don't you know? There's some bite to it, though. You can Cutty my Sark. I'll tell you one thing. This has got to be Cutty Sark. Where do I go? Who do I turn to? All right, so that's that. It's nice. It's fine. It's like, I paid $15. It's got some sugary sweetness. It's got bread dough. It's got like 80% grain flavor. It's got a little kind of a bitey bite to it. No big deal. It's no big deal. And it really isn't a big deal. It's fine. It's like regular old Scotch whiskey. Blended type, of course. The blended type. No problem. No, I take no issue with it. I have no animosity towards it, especially since its interests don't conflict with my interests. You understand? Oh, there's the train whistle, and here is the smoke whistle. Here's the smoke whistle. Here is the smoke whistle. The whistle. Well, now I just had a tunnel of smoke. That Johnnie Walker Blue Label draws the smoke. It's like you feel like Bowman and you've been sucked into the monolith and you're just like, you know, you about to come out of Star Baby and stop the nuclear war. But it's oh wow, man. It's just so much smoked pork. It's so much smoked peat, the smoke, the dough. I've heard it said, not definitively, not officially, but I've heard it said that this is only about 20% grain whiskey and it's about 80% single malt. You know, of course, a blend of single malts. I would believe it. And it's different ages, like different ages. They don't give an age statement on this because then you got to go with the lowest age. Now, what if they're using some 3-year aged? Then they would have to call it a 3-year age. But like the companies said, they got whiskey in this blend from companies that went out of business 50 years ago. You know what I mean? Little Scotch companies that closed down for lack of business in the 1960s. And Johnnie Walker bought all their barrels. I mean, they didn't want to waste them. And they just stored them. Just kept them in storage, aging, and then they come up with this recipe. So you say, well, You could take the average, like if you had a 54-year-old and then a 3-year-old and then all these in between, you take the average. But you can't do that legally. You got to give the statement of the youngest whiskey. So you could have a 200-year-old whiskey blended with a 3-year-old, and you have to say it's a 3-year-old whiskey. So to avoid that, they just don't give the age statement. They just say it's a lot of stuff. That's what they say on the website, a lot of different barrels. In America, the companies say they've been avoiding doing age statements because of tax. If you don't have an age statement, there's this tax you don't have to pay. But if you make an age statement, then there's tax. You're taxed according to the age. That's what Jack Daniels said on their tour. They were like, well, we just don't make an age statement because we don't want to pay the tax, which you know they're going to pass it on to you. And the guy said, but it's about 4 years old. We just bottle it when we feel it's ready. What does that mean, about 4 years old? Well, common sense will tell you that. It's about 4 years old, so it's a 4-year-old whiskey. Tennessee whiskey, all right? So I think people get really wound up over these age statements. And I'll keep reading articles. Now, maybe it's some capitalist conspiracy, you know, to not make age statements. But I believe it is what they're saying. It's just doesn't matter that much in many cases. It's what's in there. This is a nice. Well, I'll tell you one thing about Cutty Sark, boy. I keep saying, boy, you might be a girl. I'll tell you something about Cutty Sark. It really starts to develop that compost. You say, isn't that like rotting vegetable, like organic matter, like rotting eggs and stuff, and like a slop bucket that you put in your garden? Yeah, it is that. But it kind of has that flavor. So you know how sometimes you want to drink and eat rotten vegetables? You say, no, I don't really do that. Right, but this does have that kind of character. But in the Scotch, it tastes good. Otherwise, you know, ugh. Reggie Fox says, I love Dawn Busters. It's good to know there are others up at this hour. Right, and I got up at 2:46 this morning. Like at 2 o'clock, I looked at the clock and I was like, I'm going to sleep late. Because I went to sleep early. It was still daylight when I fell asleep. I was watching Tucker Carlson. And now I agree with everything he was saying, you know, but I started getting sleepy. And I was like, I'm turning it off. And then at 2:46, I jumped out the bed. I said, let me get ready because I wanted to listen to the news at the top of the hour at 3 a.m. Yeah. CBS News up to the minute. And it was talking about, well, you know what they were talking about. It's the only thing they ever talk about on the news these days. And I've been saying outrageous things on Facebook about it, but I always do. But that's how I am. And they're not, I would say they're outrageous in the sense that they're bold and loud. I don't disagree with the statement. Some people get angry, you know. But it's okay. But the provocative statements, they're only really meant to get people to think. It's like, think. Don't just fall in lockstep. Think. It's not bad to think. It's good to think and discuss, argue, you know, in a friendly way. But some people have a totalitarian mindset, and if you don't agree with them, they can't associate with you. I consider it a very deranged outlook on the world. And that's how some people are. And being an open-minded person like myself, I can't very well, you know, I have lots of difficulty interacting, or I don't have problems being friends with them. They have problems being friends with me because they have like that totalitarian mindset, a definitive mindset where I am the almost like I am the creator of my own being. This is how some people think. And everything they say is a fact when it usually is opinion, you know what I'm saying? They'll say, this is such and such. This is such and such. And I'll tell them, I say, well, what you really mean is, in your opinion, it's such and such. Oh, they can't stand it. Can't stand that. I'm not saying these whiskeys are this or not this or that. I'm saying the way I look at it, in my opinion, they are such and such. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of people like their state opinion as fact. And then that leads to a lot of problems, you see. But when you discuss topics, all right, get this right. When you discuss topics, be it beer, wine, liquor, politics, religion, whatever, if you'll notice carefully, in a theoretical sense, when people start to shame or ridicule you, if their argument rests on you're stupid, you're dumb, hey, moron, whatever, then you know that they're starting to slip into quicksand. So they can't argue the point. They don't want to address the point. They don't want to address the issue. So then they got to go to the ridicule or whatnot. See, that's a strong indication. It's almost a guaranteed indication that their basis of argument is poor, weak, a house built on a foundation of sand. So, and I try to avoid that on Facebook, social media. I'll say, well, no, I think it's my opinion. This is what I do. So, but not, I am the arbiter of all truth. I am the determiner of all truth. No. Well, is Cutty Sark any competition to Johnnie Walker Blue? Actually, it's done better than most things against Johnnie Walker Blue. This may seem shocking. It's shocking to me. I've put up so many good Scotch whiskeys against Johnnie Walker Blue Label. And boy, they just get whipped. Whipped, beat, smacked around, slapped down, held up, punched, kicked, spat upon, and generally mistreated by Johnnie Walker Blue Label. And it's really glaring. And I was just closing it out with Cutty Sark, and I figured, well, this would just be another exercise in futility. It'll be no kind of worthwhile thing to watch or even engage in. Oh, I think Cutty Sark has done better against Johnnie Walker Blue Label than any other Scotch whiskey I've put into the competition, which is incredible. Incredible. I think that says a lot about Cutty Sark. Got some good clean water in it. That Scottish water. You know how sometimes you love to drink Scottish water? I've never been to Scotland. I don't know about their water. Boy, that's mild, mellow, doughy bread dough. I think it must be higher than 20% single malt, though. I get a funny feeling that Cutty Sark is a higher ratio of single malt to grain whiskey. I don't see how it could be that doughy with 80% grain whiskey. I don't see that. Fantastic, amazing, mesmerizing, really. Makes me want to go buy another bottle of Cutty Sark. And I'm sure Glen Turner wouldn't mind. That's the end of the JW Blue in this glass. Smoke, smoke, smoke. Unmistakable. I never tasted a Scotch that was so smoky. I never tasted a Scotch whiskey that was so elaborate. But it isn't really hammering the Cutty Sark. It isn't handling it too badly. You say, you mean it's like when Apollo Creed fought Rocky? He thought it was just going to be like some kind of exhibition, and now he's getting this guy's battling back. It's kind of like that. I mean, it's not like Johnnie Walker Blue is going to be saved by the bell in the 15th round, and it's going to be a split decision. It's nothing like that. It's a unanimous decision. All three judges are going to say Johnnie Walker's the winner. I understand that. But Cutty Sark has performed very well against the Blue Label, remarkably well. And I would say shockingly well. I wasn't expecting this. I woke up thinking this, like I said, this was just going to be an exercise of, more or less a waste of time. But I can't believe it. Well, okay. The Johnnie Walker Blue Label. Buy it. Pay you $200. I don't really get any remuneration from John Walker and Sons. They don't send me any money. Not to say that I would turn it down, but got no T-shirts from them, no caps. Not, hey, what's going on? I'm over here bragging on your product. Where's my stuff? But you know what I'm saying. So I don't get anything from them. But I'm glad I paid the $242, whatever it was after tax. It's really been an experience. It's going to be an experience. I've got 70% of the bottle left. Is it the most adventuresome and exciting whiskey I've ever tried? Yes, obviously, and without any qualifications, it is. It's sort of like you're in a different world. Like you don't know that whiskey could be like this. And then that's why I was so stunned by my friend David saying at 85. I said, 85? But I think he needs to do a lot more thinking and drinking on it. But I'm not buying him a bottle. He'll just have to go pay his own $200, you know. And I'm not doing any more samples. You know, these charity samples. I don't call them charity samples. I like to share stuff with people. But I have friends that could buy a bottle easily of Blue Label, but they just don't want to. They want me to give it to them. But no, go buy your own bottle. And then you can drink on it and think on it. Do your own exercise. This can be done. Don't tell me you can't afford it, but you bought these mud shields for your truck that look terrible, that were not even from the dealer, and they cost over $200. And this other stuff you bought for the truck, it looks horrible, and it's going to be falling off in 2 years. You know you could have bought the Blue Label. So I would say, I would recommend that everybody that's into whiskey tasting, go buy the Blue Label. Don't get a little small sample bottle. You'd be cheating yourself. Get the full bottle. Get the full bottle. Get a 750. Think on it. You know, drink on it. Think on it. Rest on it. And it's just going to be something else. Like it's much more elevated than you ever imagined. Cutty Sark. Nah, don't even tell me you can't afford a $15 bottle. If you can't afford a $15 bottle, you need to start listening to Dave Ramsey. I'm serious about that. And then, but it's a great, considering the performance level here, it's a great product. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I do recommend paying. Live a little. Try to put a drop of Blue Label in the Cutty Sark. Could do that, but I don't think I will. It would add plenty of smoke and complexity to the Cutty Sark. I believe that. I do believe that. Yes. But I'm not going to do any cuvées, you know, any mixtures. I'm not going to blend the blends, you know what I mean? I'm not going to blend the blends. All right, so that's it for Scotch for a month or two. Yeah, about a month or two, because coming up Thursday, this should be pretty interesting. I say it would be fascinating. We're going to do Four Roses, the standard Four Roses, the base model, versus Jack Daniel's number 7. And then Saturday, we'll do the Four Roses base model versus Jim Beam. Well, that'll be the end of Four Roses. I don't have any more after that. It'll run out. But then I'm going to bring in a new bourbon, and I think everybody's going to be interested in that. I am. I can't wait. It's called Cooper's Craft. I have an older bottle, but it's only been on the market 3 years, you know. But maybe 2016, late 2016, it came out, but it really didn't become available, I believe, till 2017. But the Cooper's Craft from Brown-Forman, and I'm going to put that in taste challenges against all my other bourbons, and I'm going to do a solo review. And I'm very interested. My friend David said it's not any good. That's junk or whatever, which makes me even more interested, because a lot of stuff he calls junk I think is good. Of course, maybe stuff I like he thinks is junk. You know how that works. But so that's going to be very exciting. After I finish that, then we're going to do American blended whiskey. I have Sonny Cook, a historic brand. I've had people tell me this is the worst blended whiskey on the market. Horrible, terrible, trash, garbage, filth. Yet it's from Beam Suntory. You would imagine that Jim Beam Company wouldn't be putting out horrible filth. It's kind of doesn't add up. A company like that with the quality control they've got. So I'm so curious. I bought it in Texas during this crisis. Yeah, I went on road trips. Can't wait to try that. And then we got Canadian whiskey next. And it's going to be the one you've all been waiting for. I've been waiting for it. Crown Royal. About time, huh? Been doing every obscure Canadian whiskey you could think of. But Crown Royal's coming in to play, and that's going to be a paradigm shift, I guess. And then we'll be back to Scotch, which I guess will be, how about Grant's? I have a big bottle of Grant's. I got a good deal on it. And people have been talking to me about Grant's. Grant's. Famous old blended Scotch, kind of ordinary from what I've heard. I don't expect much, but dying to try it, you know. Okay, great show, man. I like these. In the mornings. And young Mr. Jazz says, have a nice day. But y'all all have a nice day. Now I'm going to go walk half a mile, then I'll walk another half a mile, then later today I'll walk another half a mile. Take care, world.